So hello everybody and welcome back to another new vlog. Today I've come out to Edgbaston Reservoir, which is just about a mile or so outside of Birmingham city centre, and I've come here because it kind of gives us an interesting view of the urban landscape with a kind of juxtaposition of the natural as well. It's such a lovely place. It's a national nature reserve as well as being a reservoir, so there's all kinds of wildlife here, ducks, birds, all kinds of things. And just over my shoulder there, you can see it through the brightness, that there is Birmingham city centre, just over there. And I've been stood in this sort of area quite a few times before and captured some really interesting shots of the city of Birmingham, and I thought I would come back and just vlog what I was doing last time. So here we are, Edgbaston Reservoir. So I'm in a spot now where I've previously captured a long exposure through the trees behind me here, looking towards Birmingham city centre. It's quite an interesting shot because the trees were being used as a frame on either edge of the image, looking through, with the water out in front of me, lying out in front of me, nice and flat, and it gave a really interesting perspective on the centre of Birmingham. But I can't seem to find exactly where that shot was now, and exactly which trees I'd shot through before. So I'm going to have a quick look around here and see if I can find that image again, and then I'm going to make a move and see if I can find any more. I didn't manage to get the actual shot that I wanted. Let's see if we can get some more light on this. I didn't actually manage to get the actual shot that I wanted, but just behind me here, over this way, there are several trees in the water, just literally sticking up, and through those trees you can see some of the buildings in Birmingham city centre. I wanted to try and frame up those buildings within the trees. It's not very easy, and it is quite dark here, as you can see, so I've had to use a bit of HDR to capture these photos perfectly, and I've shot both portrait and landscape orientation because I don't know which of those is going to be the best, if any. As you can see behind me, there's a path that runs all the way around this reservoir, and I'll be walking all the way around that and trying to see what I can get. I know that on the other side of the reservoir there are several images that are quite interesting, so I'm going to take a walk around there and see if I can capture those. Just I've been walking around the edge of this pathway, I've noticed a couple of spots where there's been tree roots or tree trunks just sticking out into the water, and it's rather interesting. The last one I walked past just happened to spot a couple of little coots just sitting on the top of the tree stump right on the water, preening themselves. It's alright for some, isn't it? I'm also noticing that with this quite harsh sunlight that we've got and some high cloud, we're getting some quite interesting light in the highlight areas and in the shadow areas, to be honest. So I'm going to try and stop somewhere and see if I can capture that as well. We've got quite a breeze picking up now, which you tend to find in reservoirs, especially in this one. At one end of it there's quite an open end, and it's quite wide, where the wind kind of cuts across, and as it does that, of course, once it gets trapped inside the kind of like a vortex inside the reservoir, it just sort of bounces around and spins around and gives you some quite strong winds just at the one end of it. It's quite interesting, but it means it's making it difficult for vlogging as the wind picks up, because you won't be able to hear exactly what I'm saying. But I'll do my best. In the meantime, walking around, look what else I found. Look at this thing right behind me. all the graffiti on that looks interesting, so I'm going to go and have a quick look at that and see if I can capture a photo of it, and then I'll start making my way back to the end of the reservoir. I've also noticed there's some quite interesting bluebells just behind me, just along from where that building was. Along here there's quite a lot of bluebells. I'm not sure you can make them out very well on the camera, but I might go and have a look at those and see if I can capture a shot there as well. As you quite often find with bluebells, they're surrounded by nettles, which is kind of making it quite difficult for me to get in and have a proper go at taking a photo of them. But I might pop back in a little while and see if I can get the long lens on some of them. But if not, I'm going to carry on walking around here and see if I can get another long exposure at this corner of the reservoir before the wind gets up. This right behind me, Birmingham Rowing Club. That's quite interesting. Obviously they use the reservoir for rowing as well. But just the other side of me, there's a little spot here where the water kind of laps onto the shore here, and there's a little bit of water fret kind of in that little gap there, just beyond where those stones run along. There's a gap at the back and there's a bit of water fret in there. What I'd like to do is try and capture a long exposure of that. I don't know if it's going to be any good, but I'm going to give it a go anyway. So I'm going to set up now and take this long exposure. Apologies for the wind, it really is getting up now, but this could be an interesting shot. So I guess I'm going to call it a day for now with this vlog. I've taken a few images, some of them look as though they're going to be quite good. That last one was rather interesting. Instead of trying to capture that water fret just on the edge of the water, what I discovered, there's a fence around the outside of the metal fence, kind of like a tube fence, metal tubing that's there to stop people falling in the water, and that kind of looked a little bit more interesting, so I've tried to take a long exposure of that. I don't know how that's going to turn out. Once again, apologies for the breeze. It is quite a strong breeze now, it's really getting up. Like I say, I'm going to call it a day, so if you've enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video very shortly. Bye for now.